the first step into level 3 is willingness. What are you willing to do differently? What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to engage in? And in level 3, this is where the main focus is going to be on our consistency. So no longer are all events neutral. All events are now helpful because we're being more willing to engage in life. And so we're asking for the universe to come in and support us at this level, which it does. It automatically does. And so now we're kind of testing this with letting go of everything in those lower levels. All events are not neutral. Now we're kind of trying on this thought process of, okay, all events are helpful. So if this person's yelling and screaming at me, but I'm trying to move into higher levels of consciousness, how on earth is this a helpful event? And so this is what we're starting to move into more with us being consistent, always being consistent. And like Mimi, you said last time of like, gosh, but when somebody's yelling at you, like your knee-jerk reaction is to defend yourself or say, whoa, calm down, or to fight back. I mean, we have these built-in mechanisms that say you've got to defend yourself. Now, if you're being chased or your life is threatened, absolutely, you'd get out of there. But the point is, in these lower levels, we stay in fight or flight patterns. Cortisol's high, we're creating these environments for our body that are just not healthy to be in all the time. So now we're practicing letting it go so we can start operating from those higher level of consciousness. Keeping all of this in mind as well, these patterns, okay, no matter what level you're in, these patterns really hold a lot of weight. And let's go backwards so you can see it a little bit more clearly. Because if somebody's sitting across from you, or if you're doing this, you can go to the chart and look at this and get to the root of the problem. But there's drama, right? Okay, so whatever that looks like, somebody's yelling at you, they're accusing you of something, there's drama. Okay, they or you are demanding something, demanding that something be different other than what it is. Okay, now we're moving backwards. We're moving back down the chart. Ultimately, there's going to be disappointment in what's taking place, or understanding that that disappointment is what's behind it. Okay, so there's drama, somebody's demanding something, demanding you do something, you demanding somebody else. And now know that what's fueling that is disappointment. Okay, we're still moving backwards. Okay, so the disappointment, and then the very bottom of level 2 is because there's an unmet desire. So now if there's drama, you're creating drama, you're disappointed in something, you can now go to, what is my unmet desire? What is it I want? Okay, and so now level 3, you can see where this becomes such a big role of saying, what do I want? What do I want? So that's where the importance of like the exercises in level 3. Hi, Joan. We're talking about what every single plane of consciousness looks like. Because when you said to me in your email and you're telling me your story, and you said, but all events are neutral. Remember, I said, no, all events aren't neutral anymore because we're no longer at the midway point. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about these different planes of consciousness because they are in hierarchy order. Okay, they go from 0 up to 1,000. These are the vibrational frequencies. So always keep that in mind. I mean, there's a significance to everything that's in this chart. So now we're retracing. We're going backwards. Okay, so we're in this pattern. Okay, we're trying to control situation, or there's drama in our lives, and now we're tracing this backwards. We're tracing this drama all the way back. Something's demanding, We're disappointed in something, and it stems from an unmet desire, and it's making us angry. Okay? That unmet desire is making us angry. Okay? And that's the whole underlying pattern right here. However, anger is always, always, always fear's father. Always. So if you're angry about something, what you're really doing is you're afraid of something, or the person across from you is afraid of something. Okay? So now we're back to willingness, right? Willingness to see this differently. So if somebody is angry, you're going to say to yourself, they're afraid of something. No exceptions. 1000% of the time, this will always be true. If there's drama, anger, hate going on, fear is behind it. And think about this in the world today. Think about how angry the world is, but cultivating behind it is fear. Okay? We're still going backwards. Okay, so if we were going up this chart, then we would start at shame, and then we would move to depression, feeling anxious, and regrets if we were going to get out of this pattern. Okay, but we're going to move backwards. So we're coming out of level 2, we're slipping back into level 1. Okay, so those unmet desires, this is a core right here. That unmet desire is now creating regrets. And now we're starting to feel the anxiety. Okay, we're moving backwards, we're slipping down, we're slipping down. Now there's that depression tip off. And remember, we talked about depression being pathological. So we really want to watch that. So, and ultimately all the time, behind underlying core of anything that's going on with us or anyone else when we're experiencing this is always going to be shame about something. We can't spend too much time in shame. Okay, our psyche doesn't allow us. So this inner dialogue says, I'm not enough, I'm not good enough, I shouldn't even be here, my life isn't meaningful, it's not worthy, I'm not worthy. Okay, so that's that ego's dialogue that says, you know, just don't, you're just not enough. So we can't spend that much time there. So what do we do? What does the way we're designed? We blame. It gets us off of us and it gets us onto something else. And this is actually, it helps us survive. And I know I've said this before. So when you're experiencing blame from your kids, and it's a lot of it and it's heavy to take, there's shame behind their blame always. When somebody's blaming you or blaming something, blaming life being other than what it is, they're saying probably, I'm ashamed of what I've done with my life or my time. I'm not enough. I didn't do it right. But we can't walk around. We're not going to post online saying, yeah, I really screwed my life up. I made so many mistakes. We're going to come in as a young person and say, well, of course I'm not successful. You know, these parents that I had. So on a collective level, that's what's going on. Okay, so now back to willingness. So now this is where so much work comes in, but really good work, really powerful work, because the more we're willing, the more hopeful we become. We're looking for meaning and ultimately to reach understanding, which is the highest plane of level 3. And how are we going to do this? By cultivating acceptance. The emotion we experience when we allow or accept all things is forgiveness. It's automatic, it's built in, you don't have to think about it, automatic.